I have no camera. Why do I have no camera? Someone's going to have to let me know if you can see me. I don't see me. And I followed all the instructions the same as last week. Trevor will be here shortly. Google Chrome, hit start streaming. I hit start streaming and the camera's not working. I don't know what to do. So if you can hear me, you can hear me. I guess I can check myself. Go to YouTube. See what's going on. It's always got to be something, doesn't it? Something stupid. Okay, go to live. And it's not showing the live for today. Because today is the 16th. So it should be showing me going live. What is happening? Okay. So do I stop this? Stop streaming. Start streaming. And yeah, I'm sure you can hear me, Glenn. I don't have a camera for some reason. I don't know why. I see the red light's on the camera. Okay, we'll start poking buttons. Let's see what happens. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. I mean, we can all hi. Nobody can see me. I'm hidden. That's a picture. Can everybody see the picture? Can everybody see the picture of the music studio? Because I see a picture of a music studio, but I don't see a picture of me. And what's confusing is the camera light's on, so it's showing that it's on. There's an intro. You don't have any sources. Okay, so that went away. Now I'm showing you guys talking. Now I'm showing map video, and then this is where the source was before. Alright. Click it here. I don't know what this is saying. Camera device. And we're just going to be in the dark till Trevor gets here. So we're talking. I don't know. Everything came up fine, and I realized, it's not showing a picture. Maybe it doesn't show a picture till I start streaming. I thought it showed last week, showed a picture when I was streaming. But then I look up. So I'm more fun in the dark, yeah. And I look up and the camera light's on. So I'm like, okay, the camera's working and the microphone's obviously working. I got everything connected right, but for some reason it's not taking the stream. But now it's showing you, I don't understand that. Now it's showing you, now it's showing your social security number. I didn't click anything. It should be showing the studio. Then it shows this. How do you know my social security number? There's the Zoom, which is what you guys are talking on. I can put that on the screen. Yeah, so obviously the camera's on, but the camera's not. So Trevor will be here shortly, and I don't know what else to push. So we'll leave it as B and just start moving and all and everything. And everybody can join in and they'll look at them. As long as I'm talking, they'll realize something's happening. If I quit talking and get quiet, then nobody will know what the heck's going on. So just got in for the 5th Discovery Camp. So it's funny because I go down the highway and I'm so pushed to go, okay, I got to get there in time, get there and, grab a cookie or something and get something to drink, sit down and get this up. Mike's not low. It's right there. It's because you're so far away in New Jersey. If you were closer, if you would pack your bags, get on a plane, and go halfway, get to Kansas City, I would be louder. No problem there, Ed. I can solve that problem. But no, and I could turn the mic up a little bit. Is this? No, that turns it down. So this should be turning it up. But that's as loud as I can get the mic. And this is the same setting. This is the same setting we used last week, and everybody said it was loud and clear. So I don't know what's happening. And I didn't touch anything. I just stopped streaming, came in, changed the date, and it's weird that it's not showing it on YouTube either. So I don't understand that. It should be. I can't see it on YouTube, which makes me more puzzled. You're all there, but I'm not showing it. Oh, there it is. Okay, so it's showing. And there's 3 people watching because, well, you're watching a black screen. So I have no idea. Trevor will be here eventually. I never look so good. So anyways, went through groups. Greg Davis wasn't there, so it was my turn today for the first time. And I don't know when the last time someone besides Greg did the Lost Dutchman story for the school kids, but today I handled all the Lost Dutchman stories for the school kids. So it was me for the first time doing the entire story for each group, and everything went well. So I was looking forward to it. It's nice to let Greg do it, as long as he wants to do it and can do it. But yeah, he was missing in action today. Nothing health related. It was just something personal business. And so that was it. And so, hello, Naples. Yeah, we have no camera yet. We don't know why. I'll keep messing with it. It has a light, so I know it's working. So it's not getting the feed for some reason, and I don't know what to do to mess with that. So usually Trevor knows. I know where he's got. Well, he knows where he's plugged in. Hey, David. Yes, we have no picture this week, and now it just pinged out. Wow, it's pinging out big time on the audio. Anyways, so we finished up today's Discovery Camp. We're trying to set something up for next week's live because Trevor will be out of town, and next week is the last Discovery Camp, so I have to be there to clean up everything and take all the gold panning troughs down to the bunkers and get them loaded in, and then I have to drive all the way home, so there won't be any live, definitely, because I won't be here. So I'll be running much later, probably getting in here probably sometime around 4:30 or 5 o'clock or later. So because of that, I'm trying to work with Trevor this weekend to line something up. We'll put out a short or something about it, whatever we do, some old footage, or maybe we'll do some sort of extra talk or something. Maybe we'll pull some footage of something we filmed in the mountains. Well, I would pull the USB, but it's down underneath here, and if you saw the mess of wiring and stuff we have, because remember, this just isn't this mic and this stuff. There's all this. You never get to see this side of the room, really. There's tons of equipment, and there's tons of things over here, and it's just a cable mess underneath me. If you guys saw the picture underneath here, which you can't because there is no picture, but yes, it's literally just a maze of like 50 to 80 cables, because we have the studio speakers, and then we have the speakers that set up with this setup, and then we got the different mixers, and we have the different stuff, and the Scarlets, the Sapphires, and then we have the compression and all the stuff for the recording studio. So all this cables and everything runs right here underneath. And to pick that cable out amongst all these cables, I just look down, and it's just mind-blowing how many cables are down there. So I'll wait till Trevor gets in, because he's probably familiar. He takes this cable off and puts it on all the time because he utilizes it on the other side of the room. So hopefully when he gets here, he'll know what to do with it. But I think we had this problem before, and I don't know exactly what it is. I don't know if it's just not catching the camera, it's not reading the camera, what's going on with it. So there. So this is the perfectly time. I could have made a sandwich today and ate a sandwich, but because people told me don't eat when you do this. Anyhow, so next Friday, Trevor will be out of town, and because I'll be running late, we'll probably try to air something different. So, and hopefully we'll get this up, because it is kind of annoying. And I'm looking at everything on here, and I can't find anything that tells me. It says start and stop streaming, and other than that, there's nothing else. There's a lot of stuff to push, but I pushed a bunch of it. And I guess I could put that little picture up of the studio while I'm sitting here, so you guys got something to look at. That isn't here, but it doesn't show all the cables, but it's kind of reflective a little of what's going on. There is a keyboard, but the keyboard's on my left. And there's all the components, the stuff next to the keyboard is very similar to what's over on my left. I don't know why I'm pointing, but all the stuff over here. So it is kind of similar. It's different. The room's very different, but at the same time, that's very much what I look at the setup here to some degree. So for whatever it's worth, that you can just, if you want, you can take a dry erase marker or something and draw me in that little chair. And then you'll kind of be there. The rug really ties the room together. Now, I don't have a rug in here because the chair roller. See, I guess it's a wood floor room, so it would work better. But the problem is, like here, we have carpet in here to help deaden the sound. And if you had a rug in here as well to bring the room together, the chair would catch on it all the time. And this chair is the only, because there's such a limited amount of room, and we have a stool to work off of, and a keyboard stool and a guitar stool, and this chair. We only keep one chair in here because there's not much room to move around with all the crap that's in the room. So there it is. And hopefully Trevor's on his way home. We'll monitor his passage of time, even though he's very lackadaisical about getting home. So I don't think he listens to this, so he won't even really be caring. He'll just be riding along and in La La Land from his hard working day. So anyways, so hopefully he's on his way in and we'll see this, but that'll be at least something there. So we did that, but it was kind of cool today talking to the kids. It was a little bit different of a method of conveying to the kids. Usually Greg Davis is a little more Shakespearean drama and kind of gets into it, and, you know, rather than acting. My thing was today just going historical narrative and all, and letting the kids do questions and stuff through there. So was meaning to ask, how was the road to First Water for your hike? Was it in good enough condition for a sedan? Yes. No. Road to First Water was in perfect condition. It was really good. There was a little bit of some puddles and stuff, little running water, a couple of the washes, but there was nothing. I don't think there was anything to slow anybody down. I mean, the road was really good. Hey, Dallas, how's it going? Saw Dallas Saturday. Dallas, someone asked how the road was coming in First Water. I thought it was in excellent shape, really good. No muddy ruts? No, it wasn't muddy rut. That's a pretty hard-packed road. So it would take some soaking rains for days and days and days to really get it to soften up. That road's pretty hard. So, you know, like I said, in the washes there was a little bit of water, but it was pretty good. The Trevor show. Well, the Trevor show would mean Trevor would have to show up. And it's the Trevor no show is what we call it. Okay, Trevor hasn't even left the school yet. So we're in the dark still. And we're in the dark for anybody that's joined us because for some reason I put that picture up because the camera does not want to work. The red light's on, the camera's up, I'm looking around, everything else is functioning. I see the camera capture charge. It shows, I don't know, the camera's charged because it's plugged in, so it shows it's plugged in. I don't know, it's kind of weird. Turn Green Show, Tom Green Show. That was a ways back, so good band name. What, No Muddy Ruts? Road was nice, lots of cars. Yeah, it was really good that day of the road. We'll remember how Massacre Grounds was a bit different, and that was because people like to go up there. The ground was a little softer going up there because it's not down. It kind of, the road used to elevate, and then people would go out there, and they like to go out there drinking and stuff and up in there. And they would take and go try to the mud bog it, and the big trucks would run their tires and tear. And what happens is when it's too soft, just maybe stay out. But people go out, and what they don't understand is they're just damaging the topsoil, and it gets softer and softer, and it just wore in. And I remember how bad it looked. The last time I went out there before they closed it, it just looked terrible. When you drive down Peralta Road and you look on the sides where all those guys camp, and they've turned those into just mud bogs and deep ruts and all that. That's what Massacre Grounds Road looked like, all the way up. And it got extremely wide, too. It was just getting it was just every year getting a little bigger, a little bigger, a little bigger. And so them shutting it down was a good thing because it just was terrible. And I remember Randy Wright and I went up there the last time, and I was just like, it was such a shame how bad a shape it was in. Posting any footage from the Don's hike. Trevor wants to put that together. He wants to go through it all. He did load it up. He hasn't had time to go through it this weekend. He probably will. He's going to put it together and wants to put something together nice and smooth and even that covers what we talked about, and then if there's stuff that he didn't catch or what needs to be like voiceovers or anything like that, put it together. So it'd be more like an episode type thing, probably 45 minutes to an hour of the hike. The hike took about 4 hours. So it's just kind of, but that's what Trevor does. Well, that's Trevor's job. Trevor's job is to handle the footage and everything. So there you go. But that's his thing on the other side of the room. He uploads it. It goes, everything we film, there's tons of stuff we've never used. But everything that's filmed goes into a hard drive back here. We have a number of different hard drives filling up always with stuff. And then he fills them up, and then we go through whatever used footage we want to release. And then there's tons of footage always that we don't release because it's just boring. It just meanders too much. Even when you think we're boring, there's even more boring footage. So it's a great new series, Legends in the Dark. There you go. Yeah, I need some night vision. Okay, I'm going to take everybody's suggestions. See here briefly. I'm going to disappear because I'm going to try to figure out if I can find the camera cable. See if I can unplug and plug that thing back in. It's going to be tough. My God, this is a maze. It's a maze. I don't know if that did anything at all. Hold it. Nope. The red light went out, though. So I did get the right cable and plug it back in, but the red light on the camera went out now. And it says, doesn't say anything. Device 1, device 2. Yeah, whatever I did, it now does not, the camera is not on. It did something. Yeah, it got worse. Try it again, because it's not, the light's not coming on. See what I can do. That is the right cable. Yes, so Trevor will have to, it did happen before. So I will say, as I get back up to the microphone, it did happen before, and we had a problem one time where none of that was working, and we kept playing with it, and we got it to work. Have you been able to look for the Spanish Fortress? Nope, we haven't had that time yet this winter. We've been out every week, but every time there's something there. Sorry for what? It did something, and went black. You're funny. Next smoke signals. Couldn't see the smoke signals. Big powwow, massacre ground, send braves. Where was that? Spanish Fortress. Yeah, we've been out constantly, but like I said, we had the hike last week. Discovery camps are on Fridays. Sunday is the Lost Dutchman Marathon. There's always stuff going on, so you don't have to turn on the red light. That's not the police. Roxanne. At least I'm sharp enough I still get this stuff. That also means we're all old enough that we kind of know what you're talking about, which makes us old. Take the lens cover off. There's no lens cover. Yeah, the red light went off, so I don't know what that accomplished. Again, I'll do what most guys do. I'll tap it. And that does nothing. It doesn't plug into this. Nope. So I don't know. Trevor will come in and puzzle over it and mess with it and act exasperated. Yes, we know there's no video. Thank you joining us. Anonymous Towers Obvious. Okay, thank you. Yes, there is no video. We are all aware of this. The camera was on, but it wasn't working, so everyone's suggestion was go down there and unplug it and plug it back in, and now there's not even a camera light on. So we have audio. We have the blacked out series. So it is what it is. But the Spanish Fortress is on the list. There's some stuff we wanted to do up on Blacktop Mesa. I know there's someone else. I've been meaning to email back, but he has a trip planned, I think in March or April, and in an area undisclosed. But I want to go out to that, and Trevor really wants to make a trip up on Bluff Springs. So there's some things we got to get the time in to do The problem has been the weekly schedule's been pretty rough. And like I said, next weekend he's out of town. So I'm trying to think of where he's going. It might be the Kentucky trip. He's going to Kentucky, maybe. He's going to Kentucky here soon. They had a Vegas trip, and he actually was happy the Vegas trip was canceled because he always thinks in business. I want to go here and do this and things to accomplish things. And he didn't want to go to Vegas because I think he thought it was just kind of a screw-around thing. How far back have you and Mr. Davis been past that portal area? It's such a strange area. I don't know how far Greg and Jack Carlson have went around it. They explored it a bit. Randy Wright and I, and that's video footage that we've never released. Randy Wright and I and Trevor and then Randy's son, we went out. We actually filmed there. You'll see the little video that I did with Randy, and we're sitting there talking, and his son's sitting with me, and we're talking about the past and stuff. But anyways, that video was after we'd spent pretty much a half a day out there exploring that. We went way to the south. Everything in that area that you could climb, every nook and cranny you could look at, everything. We were all over that place like crazy. We took samples. I'm getting more and more in my head to wonder if it has something like with diatomaceous earth, something they found in there they could have used for pottery or the ranch, but I don't know of anything whitish or grayish that I've ever seen in the area used for mortar and stuff. It's weird. Everything about the area doesn't make sense. And when people see it, especially with myself and Randy, you will get it even more because Trevor followed us around as we climbed up and down everything and looked at every possible hole, tried to look at samples of stuff. It's just so odd. Hello. Okay, so Arizona Gold Hunter, just so you know, there's no camera feed for some reason today. We're in the dark. This is Wayne in the dark. So camera was on, but it wasn't giving a feed, and then I unplugged it. I plugged it back in, and nothing's happening still. So we don't know what's happening. We don't know why. I've pushed buttons, and nothing seems to work. So, well, that's sweet. Everybody still loves me. So tried, and I was very happy because I sat down and immediately clicked in the new date, set everything up, followed the instructions that I told him to give me, and everything went boom, 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 boom up, and I knew everything was working. And then I kind of left the room, and I came back and thought, that's odd. Usually the camera's on. I can see myself in it and set the lighting in the room, and it's the pyramid stone. I don't know. Maybe I could blame it. I was thinking of moving it back over here, see if anything odd happened, but I hadn't done it, so maybe it's the thought of doing something with it. But no, there's nothing changed. I mean, like I said, when I shut everything down, it's basically stopped streaming. And then I close what we use for the live, which when you see the camera and stuff, it's the OBI. And we did that. And everything comes right back up. And I click a few buttons and I change the date and it automatically streams it. So last week worked really well. This week, not so much. So, studio mode. Yeah, I don't see anything I can push to really do anything. So it has different camera devices and stuff, but none of it makes any sense. And when I click them, it doesn't change anything. Like I said, the only thing I can change to is I can put up the chat on the screen, and which you guys can see the chat anyways, and I can put this screen up that shows a recording studio, which that was an odd one because that's not the recording studio that I'm in, and it's not the one I actually have a screensaver of a recording studio, and that's not the one there either. So I don't know what we were messing around. We must have been messing with something. Don't know. I don't know what that does. Huh. I don't know what that, why that's even there. Anyways, the Zoom will show you the chat. Excuse me. Then it says map video. And this is where I should be, where it says solo. And it's the solo camera, and it's not working. And we will occasionally do updates. Do you have to click to allow camera? No, it shouldn't be. It should have just been right there. All I got to do is hit start streaming, stop streaming. Everything's tied in. Right now, the microphone, there's a desktop and this microphone. This microphone's activated. The other microphone isn't, because if I did the other audio, well, because the camera's not working, it probably wouldn't work. But on top of it, then you would hear all this reverb and feedback because I'd have 2 open microphones. So don't want to click that one. But it is interesting how that had a red light. I plugged it back in, but it does not want to. So there's something wrong. Maybe I got to pick up a new camera. They're not very expensive, but it's just kind of a pain that it just kind of went down. And we had problems before, so maybe it's just easier to get another camera. And like I told people, we won't likely, about 99% sure, there won't be a live next Friday. We'll run some footage or something instead. That's because Trevor's going to be out of town. And while Trevor's out of town, I also have to do the bunker cleanup and everything out at Discovery Camp at the Dons Camp. So I'll be hung up there later in the day. One of the things for the Dons, or not the Dons, but the 20th anniversary of the Rendezvous is I'm bringing one of the panning troughs home. I'm going to refurbish it, repaint it, get it all set up for next October. And I'll have it here and bring it back out. But I'm taking it home so that we can have it out there at the Rendezvous. So there will be a trough for panning set up for everybody to utilize. Woody can work with people and show people how to use it and all, but they're nice troughs, so it should be kind of nice to have that out there. Let's see, update. Is Trevor even trying to come home? Looks like he might be out in the parking lot now. I'll be done with live before he even gets out of the school. And he's been pretty busy. I don't know. They've been doing a bunch of film projects at the school. He was showing me some of the student projects. Pretty cool. Beautiful weather right now, today, right? Yeah, no, weather here is just perfect. It's just the dark side of Wayne. I'll help if you need it after 5. There's no help to be helped. I think the camera's done. Like I said, the camera light was on, the camera's plugged in. We unplugged the camera, plugged the camera back in, and the camera's not activating. It has the software, it has the permission. The power is not off. No, the power's on. You can hear me. There's a black screen. Okay, I'll put this other screen back up so everybody sees that there's something there. Like I said, get your dry erase marker and then draw me into the little chair. Never Friday at camp, I meant. Next Friday at camp, I meant. Oh, yeah, if you can be out there at camp next Friday, we could use the help. Hey, bless you there, Jax. Anyways, Jax is having a sneezing fit, buddy. But, yeah, next Friday will be the last one, and then at the end of the day, we have to put away and empty all 5 troughs, clean them out, and then load them in trucks, take them down to the bunker and everything. So it'll be it's a kind of a mat, and because gold panning is up on the hill, we got to run everything down the hill, down to the bunkers and load it in. And we have 6 benches and all that stuff, and so it takes a little while. And it depends how fast camp gets out, the kids get out of there and stuff, of how fast we can go. But we usually try to take our time, because things have to go back into the bunker at certain orders. So, and they have to bring down the flagpole up at our camp also has the flagpole in it. So it's embedded in a big boulder, so we have to pull all that down. So there's a bit of work to do. And when we have help, it goes a little better. Today, like I said, Greg Davis wasn't there, Phoenix wasn't there. We were a little short-handed. We had a couple people, some guy and his wife actually just walked up into camp, wanted to know what was going on, talked to us for a while they were doing the breakfast, and they asked if we wanted any help, and we were like, yeah, we could use some help. So they actually ended up helping us. So it was kind of very cool. I may be the Phoenix area, and we'll look for D-Man's stash. Who's D-Man? Dutchman's stash. Okay. Guardian Entangler. There you go. So that being done, so everybody is we do know you can't see me. We put a little picture up. If I knew what I was doing better on that picture, I would actually go in and see if there's what's in the photo albums in here and stuff, because I know we uploaded a bunch of photos for a bunch of different stuff, and we would put some photos up and I'd talk about something. Really nice studio, but that's not the studio here. That is not. But it is kind of similar, because there is a keyboard, but it's to the left. So I guess if you reverse everything, all the compressors and the sapphires and the mic outputs and everything, and the equalizer and everything is right next to the keyboard, and it kind of works across. And then there's a monitor, but I have two monitors, and then it kind of moves like so. It is kind of similar in a way, except I can't really tell. Yeah, I got the mixer. The mixer I have is actually in front of me. I have one mixer up here that's onboarded that kind of goes. Do you have any TV shows that are you working on? I'm waiting to announce, and we will do a video on it, kind of the day in the life type video before it comes out. History's Greatest Mysteries with Lawrence Fishburne. I think it's this next Monday they announce which show. It's not the show I was on. They only release like a week in advance, so I'm not really getting to see very far in advance. And a funny thing is about television networks, for some reason they don't want to tell you when your show's going to be on. They literally tell you just look it up. So it's really kind of sucks because you're sitting here, I'm like, hey man. So they would rather you guys watch every week, and they don't care about a particular show. And so I guess that's the thought process behind it. So I will be working. I did work with Lawrence Fishburne in History's Greatest Mysteries, and we will do. I videoed when I was in California for the whole segments, so you'll get to see it. You won't get to see when they're filming me, but we'll throw in a few pictures of when I was there. But you'll get to see kind of like how that all goes and works around. It's basically you spend 2-3 days and you work for an hour and a half to 2 hours. You sit in a chair. And other than that, you're pretty much just left to your own devices. And I'm pretty boring. I watch some TV, I take books to read, and I stand and smoke. And I did a long walk to look at the ocean because I figured I'm there. I might as well go look at the ocean. And that ended up being a bit of drama. But I generally, as a rule, am pretty boring in that. I just wander around and say hello to people and just kind of check stuff out. I like the sound of Hollywood jobs. Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't pay that great, I think, for overall. I mean, to do it all the time, man, that would be, you'd have to have an agent and stuff, and then there would be times of just, remember, COVID, nothing happened. We did Unexplained and Unexplored and Beyond Oak Island, and that was just literally 3-4 months apart. I mean, it was a boom thing, and then bang, nothing. It just literally, everything died completely because of COVID. And a lot of people didn't do anything for a long time. And so, and that happens a lot in the fall. They generally, as they get close to the holidays. So, but there's a lot of sitting around, and I think most people don't understand how rough it is to sit around. You can be busy. When we did Legends, I was pretty busy because it was either talking with the producers or the director or the writers, or I was on camera. They had a tendency that if we weren't filming a scene, if they were doing something, say, with Frank and Woody, they would have me over and just doing OTFs, which is on the flies. They would just be doing stuff and talking about stuff because they can put anything anywhere and just say, well, what about this? What did you think about this? What did you think about that? So it's kind of like I was pretty busy on that, but when there's nothing to do, you don't know what to do. And that's why they had Steve-O became my minder. I mean, he wasn't much of a minder, but his job was to keep me within eyesight because within 5 or 10 minutes, I just wander off. If you're not using me, I don't know what to do. I just light a cigarette and start going checking things out. And they would go to film and they couldn't find me anywhere. I'd turn the radio off, I'd turn my mic off, and I would just go out and just smoke a cigarette somewhere, find someplace quiet away from everybody, and then they would have to. So Steve-O's job for a while was just to keep me within sight line so they'd be able to get my attention. And then he would come over and say, Wayne, please, could you come back over? I'm going to get in so much trouble. Any idea when the footage Trevor filmed of the Trek will be on your channel? No idea. If he was here, he could answer, but it's when he puts it together. I know he uploaded it to the hard drive because I was here. He got it in. I asked him, what do you want to do with it? He said he wants to release it. I said, okay, we'll make sure we run it on Legends and the Dons Facebook channels and YouTube. Dons don't have a YouTube channel, but we'll have it linked up into the Legends site, and then we'll spread it out everywhere so everybody can watch it pretty much. So And we'll do what we can, do it, just justification. It should be pretty good. The weather was really good. I haven't seen any of the footage. I seen some of the photos, but I didn't. It was kind of funny. He was in here, and when he was uploading the footage, I'm pointing again. This is so annoying. I'm pointing at things like you can see me. Anyways, I'll quit pointing. He was uploading the footage, but he was listening to some odd, weird newscast about something in the news or something. I don't know what it was. But it sounded enough. I thought it was my voice, but I was trying to figure out why my voice sounded so weird. And then I'm looking through the doorway at him, and I'm looking at it, and he saw me looking totally puzzled because I'm looking at the footage, and what happens is he films in 4K. In 4K, it goes onto a CFast card. CFast card is grabbing raw data, so it's not like when you film with your phone and then you can look at it and it looks normal. That's not what it is. When he uploads it, everything, because of the rate it goes, it looks odd. It's very choppy. The color's odd. Everything's weird looking. Once he goes in and puts his hands on it, then everything gets put together. That's the whole intents and purpose. So it's very high grade stuff. So I'm seeing this weird choppy film, and I'm watching everything, and I'm struggling, and it's like on Max Headroom. Anybody knows that reference? And then I'm hearing this weird audio, and I'm thinking, that doesn't sound like me. What the hell am I talking about? So he was listening to one thing, but he had it on the open speakers, but he had headphones on, and he was listening with one ear to what I was saying and what was going on in the sequences to make sure the footage was good and how good the audio was. Because my recommendation was to set me and Greg Davis up with Zooms, and then have the Zooms on us, and then record everything when we were talking out there on the Zoom, so we'd have really high quality audio. And then what he could do is have the other audio from the shotgun, and he would use that audio as well. And so you could mix them together, so you'd get a really high quality when we were talking about something specific, and then you'd have the ambience of everybody out there and the weather and a little bit. And if it got too breezy, we could kind of mix it. And that was the purpose. And then I don't know why, because he did bring the Zooms, but we never used the Zoom. So I don't know why we didn't, because I just told him, every time Greg wants to talk, we'll go over and just have him mic'd, and we'll just plug him in, set him up, and go. We didn't do that. Have to go. Happy dunning, all you Dutchies. Have a good weekend. Enjoy it. 3-day weekend for many people. Monday is President's Day. So that will be, it's a little different. We're getting back to the holidays we remembered. Not kind of the odd New World. Trevor's here. So we will see in a minute here, because I just heard the garage door. I was all ran on the road with my band when MTV first aired. I'm old. I remember when MTV first aired. Before that, locally, we had TV 61, which ran videos, and then MTV showed up around. And I remember those days when the first videos, there was only like 6-7 videos on TV, and we just sat around. Thought it was so cool until after a day or two we realized that's all there is. So it was over and over and over, and it was Thriller a lot. Thriller. And then they started using older stock footage from old shows and stuff. Yep, long weekend, going to Jerome. I'm going to sleep in and see what else comes up and stuff. I have projects. I got a couple projects I got to finish up. I'm remodeling a second bathroom, and I need to have that remodeled before the kids return. So I want my MTV. MTV doesn't even do videos anymore. You have to go to some weird VH1 Classic thing to see videos. MTV is just shows. Trevor! Oh, Trevor! Trevor. Don't worry, nobody can see you. The camera light was on. We decided after a while, everybody said just unplug it, plug the USB in. That did nothing. The light went out. We have been in the dark the entire time.
What did you do?
I didn't do anything. I brought it up, and this is the way it's been from the start. What did you do? Everything else works fine. Well, thanks for the help there. Yeah, I just flipped him off. He doesn't know it. All right. Yeah, he cares so much about all you. He walked off. And he returns. You want me to move out of the way? Yeah, I don't know. Didn't we have this problem before with this camera?
Yeah, but I fixed it.
Okay, but what did we fix?
It wasn't a Wii, it was a me.
What did you do?
I don't know.
You want Jack's move, a Rocky move. All right, we'll give the blow by blow. He's trying to go in there and find cables because we only have 92 cables going around down there. How many times around the earth do you think we can go with cables, Trevor? Down there.
36.
Yeah, 36 times. Rocky, no, get out of here. Stay out. You cause trouble. Yeah, I don't know why the light's off. Okay, I'll get up. I'm gonna see what's going on with this camera.
Well, you can keep talking.
Well, I'm going to keep talking.
Oh, you know what I think I did before?
What did you do before?
Well, I'll give it a couple seconds.
Oh, there we are. What was that?
I don't know. I just reset it.
You don't know. Hold it.
I don't know why it didn't work. I just reset it on here. See how there's 3 now? For some reason, it wants to create a new camera every time.
So it's created a new camera each time. How did you create the new camera? You don't know?
No, I know how I did that.
Well, tell me. Well, next week I'm not going to do live.
You see this little plus here? You click that little plus that says add.
Okay.
And then you go up to where it says video capture device.
Yep.
And then you just hit create new. And then it'll automatically go to HD webcam.
So we're just adding camera after camera. Well, now it took one of them away, didn't it? Or you you turned them off. So okay, so you hit the plus, add the video capture device, and that solves that problem. All right, thank you, Trevor. People have been saying hello to you.
All right.
So it was Legends in the Dark.
What would you do without me?
I get why Frank reacts to people the way he does when I'm around Trevor. But tell everybody, where are you going next for weekend? Where?
Glendale Community College.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to Kentucky or something.
No, I'm going to Kansas City in April.
Kansas City in April, and I thought you were going to go to Vegas, but you said you didn't want to go to Vegas.
No.
So
the conference
I was so far off on every single bit of that. Yep. But you'll be heading to Spain in a few months. Few months? Yeah, actually, in a few months you will be heading to Spain. Yeah. What?
May.
Yes, in a few months. It's February. Okay, there we go. Well, I would scoot in and get closer to the bike before someone yells in closer to the mic, but you're kind of in the way.
I'm going to go drink a beer.
Go have a beer. People are happy. Thank you, Trevor. I do appreciate it. So now I know I hit the plus and add capture device. All right.
Have fun.
Well, I'm going to finish up here shortly, but at least everybody gets to see me. All right, there we are. And all right. Like 8K. Yeah, okay. So now I've learned this. I'm trying to catch up, see if there's anything. That condenser picks up the details. Come on, Trevor, fix it. Squeaky toy. Yeah, a lot of squeaky toys in this house. A lot of surviving squeaky toys. There's a lot of toys that don't have squeakies in them anymore. Awkward, Trevor the Rescue. We would be watching in the dark if we didn't have you, AM radio, watching by the candlelight. Yep, so we got it back up. So there we are. I'm in my Dawn shirt, like every Friday I have been, because I go down to the Dawn's camp, even though I think I have my Legends shirt on. There it is. I have my Legends shirt on underneath there, which was a mistake. It was in the 50s today. It warmed up way too much to be wearing 2 shirts. So it got too warm.
I have a question for you.
Why do you have your hand under a jacket? Are you pulling a gun on me or something here? I have a question. You got to smirk. So I know you're getting ready to be a dick.
You know what I'm going to ask?
No, I don't know what you're going to ask.
Why
but I know
are your
getting...
pants in the sink?
Why are my pants in the sink? Because I set them there and I changed clothes, but I didn't get to back out. I was making this Dr. Pepper and eating a cookie, and it was almost time to go live. So my pants are in the kitchen sink because that's where I set them on my way to go to the garage to put them in the dirty clothes. You could have been really cool and just said, oh, he left his pants here because he was in such a hurry to go live. But instead of that, and put him in the dirty clothes, you had to come on camera to talk about my pants being in the kitchen sink.
That would have been funny.
Yes. And it's not in the bathroom sink, folks. It's in the kitchen sink. Because I was trying to get a drink and grab something real quick to munch on before I came back in here. And, yeah, so I completely forgot about it. I thought I brought them out and they were around somewhere, but, yeah, I didn't know. You know what makes this more awkward? Now you're wondering if I'm wearing pants.
He is. He's wearing pants.
Doesn't everybody like to change the work clothes from work and everything after when they get home? And anyhow, so.
Leave your pants in the sink.
Well, thank you for that, Trevor.
You're welcome.
You're a sweetheart.
What would you do without me?
Shit. That would be a nice ride in life. All right, so anyways, it's kind of mean. I love my son. I love the boy. Now someone's texting me. Oh, I got a text about my pants being in the kitchen sink. Oh, what the fuck? See, living with me is no dream. You find my pants in the sink. I'm living like an animal. Okay, pants are overrated. Explains the video being out. No, okay, so I got in and I changed. And I had my pants in my hand, and I decided I wanted to get a Dr. Pepper and stuff before I came in here and worked on this. So I brought the Dr. Pepper and everything, but I must have set the pants down while I was getting ice on the glass and forgot I'd set them in there. And then I just came in here, did this, and then the problem with the camera, and then it just went on from there. So I completely spaced that I left my pants in there. Okay, where will the next Dawn trek be to? That's what I'm working on. That's something we can talk about. I don't know. I've thought about doing one. I want to do some easy stuff. We got hieroglyphic, which we've done before, which is kind of nice. I even thought briefly of the spiral, even though it's kind of brushy and rough going out that way. So I don't know if that's for just anybody. There's a little bit, it's not bouldering, but going down through there. There's Fremont Saddle. There's Cardiac. There's Barks Canyon. I really like Barks Canyon. Most people have never been up Cardiac down into Barks Canyon and back. There's just some different ones. So I've been thinking about different things. I want to talk to Jack Carlson about some stuff, see what he thinks about a few hikes. I think as we build it out, and I know everybody would like to do more, and obviously getting the Dons more actively involved. It'd be cool to do one to Second Water in the Red Paint Mine. It'd be cool to do one to Brush Corral Basin and some of the history along there. So, and I know Greg can't make all of those trips. He probably couldn't make too many of them. I know his days, but he still does pretty good. So let's go to the LDM. Well, you just give us the coordinates and we'll just go out there. You got to get on a plane, and since you found it, you got the money now, right? And you could just bring the Learjet out and come out and check it. Out to Dripping Springs. Who owns the ranch on the Peralta? Has that been there? The ranch on the south side of the road? The Donnellys? The Don Donnelly Stables Ranch? Greg's about 76, 77, 78. We were talking about it today. I remember being at his retirement party, and Greg mentions how old he is at times, and I forget. So it's somewhere in the mid-late 70s. So he's one of the younger ones. Him, Shoes. I think Ron Feldman's a little bit older than them. And then, of course, you got Clay and Larry Hedrick and Tom's Van. A bunch of them are a lot older. They're in their 90s. Bob Corbin's in his 90s. And there's a bunch of them. Tom would have been in his 80s. So there's kind of a separation, a bunch of 70-year-olds. I think Hedrick's got to be around 90. If he's not 89, if he's not 90, he's 89. But I thought he just had a birthday, and Larry was telling me that. I haven't talked to Larry this week, so he does damn good. Was he okay? 87. Oh, I thought you said 77. He's not 87. He's 76, 77. Because he just quit flying maybe 10 years ago. He retired from that with 25,000 hours flight time. Yes, that one. There's the Don Donnelly. That's been there a long, long time. Don, that was been there for forever and long, long time. So the family still has it, and it's still there and open and operating. And then the Quarter Circle U Ranch, which is owned by the Backus family. is further down the road east. That's the one that they have gated off. All the people camping were so disrespectful, and all the homeless people were so disrespectful, and everybody just got to tie them up in knots. They went to the Forestry Service, and they allowed them to put in another gate to keep people from going back in there. Probably once the road's paved, they will pave the road to the park this summer, and then next year they will. He's 80, I think. I don't think he's 80. Next summer, they will pave the road all the way, supposedly. Then following summer in 2025, they will pave the road to Peralta Trailhead. When they do that, I have a feeling the gate to going out to by the Quarter Circle U will move down to the junction because of all the problems they have with people. If people weren't assholes, we wouldn't have that problem. There was a time when anybody could drive down that road, go through, drive through the ranch. They would just wave at you. Howard would wave at you. You could go to the other side, open the gate, go through, and continue down the road and go to the wilderness boundaries all through Barkley Basin. There was all kinds of roads and stuff to do. And everybody was such a jack, a burro, whatever you want to refer, jackass, that they've had to change that stuff. And I don't blame them one bit, because I've seen some of the stupid stuff people do, and they trash stuff out there. So you get so tired of it, they can't trust anybody, so I don't blame them. And it's sad, though, because I remember the time when you could go out there, and I've thought about doing this Monday's video on Howard and some of the few of the fun times I had around Howard out there at the ranch. I thought that would be fun. I hope Howard's doing well. I've heard he's doing pretty good still. But yeah, that was the days when you could just go out there and he would just kind of wave at you and kind of keep an eye on who was going through there and stuff. And it wasn't so much, it was just people being, polite and courteous and stuff. But now, if you've been down Peralta Road, you see them, they park 10 feet from the road. They create mud holes. They go out there. I saw it today on my way out. Somebody was driving a pickup truck towing what looked like a 1970s RV that hasn't run in probably 20, 30 years with a piece of rope. And there was a guy steering that. And they were towing, and then they end up turning down and going down Peralta Road with it, which they're going to just dump that piece of trash out there and live in it. And it's a problem. It is a problem. And these people think that, I hate to say it, but all the people that think they're one with me, they just tear stuff up and just make things miserable out there. It's really funny because most of the rules were put in place because they were worried about all the damage the prospectors, the Dutch hunters, the ranchers would do. And that's the people that are going to end up having to save everything in the end, because if you don't keep them out, everybody just rips everything apart. Okay. So he's not 87. I think he's 80. I think he's 70. Trevor! I don't want to yell too loud because it'll blow you guys' ears. Trevor! Anyways, I think Greg's 77, 78, maybe tops. So, anyways, we'll get that. We'll get that. Because I got to talk to him. He's going to call me because I handled all the Lost Dutchman Legends stuff today. So he's going to ask me how it went. Methuselah. No, that's like Clay and what was it? George Johnson was 99 when he died, I think. So some of them are up there. I mean, they get up there. But yeah, Clay's in his 90s and stuff. Corbin's in his 90s. But he said he was 80. I just don't think he's 80. Because I've known Greg for a long time, and I remember when he retired. And don't think he retired at 70. And I don't think he retired at 72. But maybe Greg doesn't remember how old he is. Maybe I'll have to call his brother and ask his brother. Rules exist because fools exist in a way. Okay, go gold prospecting. San Antonio texts every day is a golden day. Wishing golden prayers for all. There's Sky Cloud jumping in. And he said he was okay, so we got kind of all that. With all the research of the time you've spent in the mountains, what part of the mountain do you think the Dutchman is probably located in your opinion? If you had to ask me about certain areas, and I would say where there's actually been gold found in the mineralogy and stuff I've experienced in the mountains, I would say, but you have to also take into account a lot of what Walt spoke of. And so I wouldn't think it would be too far east. That's a lot of silver. Larry said he was 80. I thought Larry was older than that. Because Larry was older than Tom, too. I bet those old timers have some good material in the garage. If you saw it in a video with Larry, Larry hasn't done videos for a lot. Those videos they're doing now are old videos that they're rebooting. So I don't know. Larry, yeah, I think, God, I don't know. Larry was telling me how old he was the last time we were talking, and he was older than I thought he was. Anyways, and he's had his own share of health problems. But I like anything around Needle Canyon and LaBarge. Coffee Flat is interesting because though a lot of people have talked Whiskey Springs in those areas, but I've never really found any really significant gold anywhere around those areas. It's just you're looking for certain matrices that would work, but it could play into it. I think when you get to the most obvious or the most popular, that's when, and the more modern popular spots, that's when I kind of go, I don't know. I've never seen anything Malapai that sold me on Malapai or Peters Mesa. There can be some significant stuff, but I think almost all the workings, a lot of workings you get up there, people think they're really old, but you know, what's old? If someone was up there messing around in the 20s or 30s, right now at this point, you're literally, it's 100 years old, and it would seem very old. I had those old timers have some good material in the garage. This was a few years ago. He said that. Yeah, I know he's getting close to Clay. He's one of the older guys. So last time he told me. So I'm not putting a number out. I just remember Larry told me how old he was, and I was surprised because he was older than I thought he was. So I was like, oh, holy crap. But George Johnson threw me off because one day we're talking, and I asked him, I said, George, don't take it. How old are you? And he said, 98. And I'm like, oh, crap, you get around good. The LDM does not fit those stereotypes. Okay. Hopefully the family has the pizza and beers going on, but I don't know what's going on tonight. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Well, Trevor already said he was going to drink a beer, so that was happening already. And I got to look around for the clock. Okay, so we're getting around the wind down time. But you have to look at the material. One of the things I've always wanted to get a hold of, and I talked to a member of the Spangler family, and I never got anywhere with it. I shared a bunch of material I had, hoping it would give me an opportunity, if nothing else, for an open discussion. The Spangler family does not only have one of the original sources, the bark notes, but they have the actual notes and things and interview questions and stuff and all the stuff that Jim Bark wrote down initially when he first met with Julia and Reinhardt. And I was very interested to compare those to what people think of as the clues, and because you would be getting probably the truest source because it would be verbatim what they said to him that Walt said. So it would be the closest source material you would ever get to. And I wanted to know just kind of like, okay, if you don't want to show them to me, if I'm not allowed to even glance at it, at least could you answer a question? Is everything kind of what's in the manuscript pretty relevant? I wanted to ask some questions, and I shared, and I just got kind of like forgotten, and I wasn't going to push it because you always hope someone comes around later and says, you know what, you never really bugged us and you were kind of actually cool about that, and I remember you and I'm really sorry, and then they come back to you. So I'm not trying to say anything bad about it, but it kind of disappointed me because it was like trying to create a conversation there. And I felt like in the situation we're in, there was no equality there. It was, I have some cool stuff and material that I don't share with anybody. Here, I will be more than happy to share this with you, just to open a dialogue with you and see where that dialogue would go. And it was like, wow, really appreciate that. This is awesome. This is great. And then it was just silence, crickets. So I was kind of disappointed. I asked a couple people if they'd had any better luck, what their thoughts were, and they didn't really seem to respond. So there's a grandson out there, I heard, and I don't know. So hopefully someday one of them somehow reach out. I mean, going back to Jim Bark, if it's been 120, 130 some odd years and nothing's happening still, it'd be cool just to share some of it. And like I said, my insight would be not if you don't want to show me the exact questions, I get it. There's obviously something to all that none of us know. Greg is 77. See, I thought 77, 78. But there's something there that they don't want to share for a reason. And it must work some way. I don't know. But whatever it is, and that's not in the manuscript, I don't think it differs. I think it adds, or it doesn't embellish, but I think it kind of explains some certain things. It is probably a little more focused. And I think for whatever reason, they don't want that out. Stop smoking. No. And because of that, that's what it is. Stop talking all the time in a dry room at the end of the frickin' day when you haven't really had anything to drink for hours. That would also help the cough, too. I don't cough when I smoke, but I cough when I got to talk for hours on end. Remember, today I've been out in the dry dirt. Smoking is fun. There you go. But I was out in the dry dirt talking to groups. Didn't smoke during that because I can't smoke around school kids while I'm doing that. There's no break for me in it. So I talk, I gold pan, I talk, I gold pan. Then I got done. Then I had a trail, and I wanted to get back here in time to do this for all of you. So I drove behind a school bus in a cloud of dust for miles to get out of there. So I sucked up dust. Then I finally pulled over, got something to drink just to get my throat out wet because it was so dried out. So my throat and everything is just absolutely dry today. So I need some tea and honey or something here just to kind of get it, because I can feel the dust all through me. Excuses. Yeah, excuses. Excuse me. Moi. So I like to smoke, and I like what I smoke. And I'm good with what I smoke. See, before they were like really cool. Yeah, I got to change the air filter this week because of that. Wasn't getting too bad because of all the rain. The roads were staying pretty damp. Today I sucked up a ton of. I don't say goodbye. And you only go around one time. It's a brief existence. That's all it is. So, and that's what it is. It's brief. And the brevity of it and all matter of things is pretty fast, quick paced. So there it is. And I shouldn't even be here to begin with. So there you go. And we're not going to get into the philosophical discussion of all those sorts of things. I smoke because therefore I am smoke. I think that works. Okay. So anyhow, I enjoy smoking. I'm not doing heroin. I'm not doing crack cocaine. I'm not drinking bottles of whiskey. I'm not drunk all the time. I don't do all these other bad things and all, even though I do like eating tacos from Jack in the Box. And I think, well, I actually quit my Dr. Pepper and chocolate donuts in the morning diet. So that wasn't preventing me from ever being sick, because that's what I did for years, and I never had a cold, never got sick, and I quit doing it, and I still am not sick. So the Dr. Pepper and the donuts for every breakfast was not the cure of all. I thought I had it, and I've always recommended it to people. So there you go. And yeah, I've stay free. Okay, stay safe, stay free. So, you know, my brother is all for them. Okay, well, there you go. And I'm trying to think. 1, 2, 3. I got 3 brothers I know of. 3 brothers, yeah. Chocolate along with smoking is key. That's too much, man. Then you got all kinds of phlegm. No chocolate. I'm not a big chocolate guy. I like just a Hershey bar once in a blue moon. I'm not a big chocolate person. It's surprising to so many people when they find out. I like to eat steak. I like stuff like that, but I'm not a big sweets person. Do what you do, brother. Cool one today. Thank you. Well, I thought it was kind of lame. We were black and there was nothing going on. I guess it was like a tribute to Black History Month, huh? There you go. A blackout. I don't know. Just kind of weird how that all transpired in the camera, but we've learned that. So you think he would have told me last time and wrote down, if there's a problem with the camera, this is what you have to do to fix the camera. Why do I have to go through this to learn that? Now I know. It's that simple. I'm actually pretty adaptable. I work with computers and software programs and all kinds of stuff, and yet, you know, according to Trevor, you think I have no clue what I'm doing. So, yes, okay. Anything he does, I could do better if I was given the time and a little time just to learn it. So, but I don't want him to feel diminished. So, yes, and he probably sits in his room and doesn't watch this stuff because he knows that. So there you go. Anyhow, enough about me and my greatness. Thank you everybody for watching. Do eat and have a beer, buddy. Yeah, I gotta get it. I gotta get something in my stomach because I had a couple cheeseburgers early, and then the Dons I thought they had chicken, and I can't have chicken. And then it turned out they had shepherd's pie, but I found out they had the shepherd's pie with beef way too late. I thought it smelled really good, and so I passed on lunch, so I didn't eat lunch. All the claims that have been found and were obvious. You know what's very interesting? We'll finish up on this. Here is one of the most interesting things. There were some, you hear 9 mines and 18 mines superimposed. I think the 18 mine thing was a stone map crap. But there was I think it was originally like 9 mines the Peraltas had in the Superstitions or some stuff. And the Apaches covered all but one, and we've heard that story. The Bluebird connected to the Mammoth? No. Well, Clay tried. He kept digging. He eventually was going to. The Bluebird mine we got a video on that. You'll learn about that. But the Bluebird is not a shaft anymore. It is a pit mine. It was, the shaft is long gone. It's just an open pit now. Anyways, talking about that is, of all the claims to have found it and were obviously BS, do you think any of them were close? Where was I going with that? I was so close. Do you think any of those were close? Come on, somebody help me with that. What was I doing before I looked up and talked about the Bluebird thing? Oh, my train of thought went. Yeah, it is time for me to eat. If it was something I wanted to talk about, and you guys were listening, you'd be typing it up there real fast for me to catch, and so I could get out of here. And nobody's typing it, so that means nobody was listening. Oh, the 9 Peralta mines. The 9 Peralta mines. There's not 9 set 31 digging 7. So the Peralta mines and what Waltz said. Remember, we can't take what 100 people after him said. What did Jacob Waltz say? Waltz talked to Reinhardt and Julia about the number of mines that Peralta talked to him about, and that would be in where I referenced before, the Bark collection. That's not public. Being able to take mines and connect them, that we know this mine is connected to this mine, and be able to age and date things from those mines and be able to put a particular number together might be a solution, but nobody likes that going out. There's so many old mines out there, and as time goes by, it was something I just said earlier, a mine that some guy dug 100 years ago isn't going to be the Dutchman, but it's almost hard to tell that mine from one done 30, 40 years ago and 50 years earlier, because all the pit mines are pretty similar. The prospect pit mines look similar, so you can get pretty excited about each one. So that becomes the problem. So finding these, and so far what I know of what the Apache stories are, and there's several different Apache stories about covered mines, and where they specifically have been said to be, one of the most important things is no one's ever found any of those covered mines. Now, Dutchman is not a covered Apache mine. The mines the Apaches covered and that they partially filled in, no one's relocated one of those that have been able to prove from that time period. The Peraltas would have left tools. There would have been a lot of stuff. So when the Apaches just dumped everything in there, if someone ever cleared one out, they would find things that they would be able to date and say, oh, I found something really old. Those have never been located that I know of. So it's not that there's one. It was multiple Peralta mines, and most of them were filled in. They didn't just mine one mine. What we know as the Lost Dutchman was one of the last mines they were working on as they worked through the mountains. It was one of the more productive, but it was probably the more recent mine they were working on in the area. And get back and read your books. But that material that's there and those families know about is very, very important. The patch I don't think covered 31, but that material is very important. And I think that's why it's not released, because it would give you specific numbers and possibly things in more specific sense. And it could be something that they're still... I don't know how actively they're looking at. I've never heard anyone talk in the last 15, 20 years of them actively, that family, a presence in the mountains, unless they're actively working through someone else that is kept it very, very under wraps that nobody knows about. And I don't know. I think I would catch that. Most people got their ear to the ground pretty well, so it would be interesting. So there you go. But that was a good question because it led me down a good path, and that's always good. And we'll have to do that. I'll have to do a video on those, the Apache stories, because you have several Apache stories about the Peralta Gonzales Waltz mines layered over each other. So there you go. We'll have to do a story on that and those story pieces. Maybe someday they'll give me that questions. I'd love to have the questions. And the 31 is, it's 30 or 31 questions. That's where that number I know comes from, definitely. So there we go. Thank you. Thank everybody for joining in. I'm glad we got the camera up and got the pictures rolling and everything else. Like I said, next Friday, maybe no live because Trevor will be in town doing something else. Got the burps right now. I haven't eaten for so long. And so we'll probably put some sort of footage up. I don't know if it'll be stuff from out in the field or what it will be, but we might just do a recording of some story or something, or go through something. I'm not going to put some, I'm always going to keep it fresh, always be new footage, something new, something different. I'm not going to do what other people do and repeat and re-edit and keep throwing the same crap out. Not into that. So we'll do something to tie in. So we'll have Monday, and then we'll do something for next Friday, and then we'll probably catch you the next Friday, because by then we'll be done with all that stuff, and it'll be fun. Yeah, it was kind of fun, because at the end we had some really good questions today. That make me think and want to go back and start pulling some books down this weekend and looking at them. So there you go. Hope everybody has a great, wonderful weekend. Stay safe through President's Day. If you got the 3-day weekend, good for you. If you don't, if you're always off and retired and don't work anymore, well, that's even better. So there you go. So thank you for joining us here on the Legends Live program, and we'll catch you again next week. Until then,